Tonight, I am
6:01. Couldn't wait.
speaking to you because there is a growing humanitarian and security crisis at our southern border.
9:01 p.m. Eastern Time. 9:01. Amazing. Oh yes, we have the seven, the five arrows. And look at all these shiny metals. Yes. Yes. Oh yes.
Every day, Customs and Border Patrol agents encounter thousands of illegal immigrants trying to enter our country.
Just a thousands. 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 This many right there. He's holding them with his hand.
We are out of space to hold them, and we have no way to promptly return them back home to their country. America proudly welcomes millions of lawful immigrants who enrich our society and contribute to our nation.
So he's saying not the ones that impoverish it and what? Defile it somehow? Right, because it's not already defiled, right? Oh, America's just so wonderful. Oh. What are you talking about?
But all Americans are hurt by uncontrolled illegal migration.
Illegal migration. So all of a sudden everybody's a lawful person. We all just abide. Right. Everybody is bending. Everybody is bending. And they're bending. Of course, man's law always bends. Always away from the truth. So man will relentlessly bend laws just to maintain the status quo of bashhood.
It strains public resources and drives down jobs and wages. Among those hardest hit are African Americans and Hispanic Americans. Our southern border is a pipeline for vast quantities of illegal drugs.
Illegal drugs. The main currency is human resources. All the free market really means is human trafficking of their labor. Human trafficking. You're gonna cry. People are crying. Oh yeah, let these people in. So what's going on?
Drugs, including meth, heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl. Every week, 300 of our citizens are killed by heroin alone,
Every day.
90% of which floods across from our southern border. More Americans will die from drugs this year than were killed in the entire Vietnam War.
Well, of course. Correlation upon all these metals and 33 degrees of arrows. Because, yes, of course, there's death upon death, relentless death. Why? Because of bashhood. Not because of one issue that seems to be a hot potato. But, no, it's the swarm. Many faces, many names. And now this hot potato is a focus for a particular direction that they're totally just following generation by generation to defile. Wow, who knew?
In the last 2 years, ICE officers made 266,000 arrests of aliens with criminal records, including those.
They've caught aliens. So disclosure is just have been happening all these years. Aliens have been captured and sent home.
Charged or convicted of 100,000 assaults, 30,000 sex crimes.
Wow, who knew? Who knew people could be so vile? Wow, who knew? Because Americans are just so amazing and pure and have so many amazing values of, you guessed it, bashhood and defilement. So, what are you saying? What is, what are you doing? What are you doing?
And 4,000 violent killings. Over the years, thousands of Americans have been brutally killed by those who illegally entered our country, and thousands more lives will be lost if we don't act right now.
If we don't act right now, thousands will die. Captain Obvious. Captain Obvious. So, what shall we do to prevent all these thousands of deaths that will happen no matter what? All because of bashhood. Bashhood behavior. Believing in your own image to bash. Wow, who knew? Because, oh yes, pumphood is even blastier. It gets you there faster. Just pump and pump and pump and huff and puff and huff and puff. And bliss and yoga, yes, Krishna, oh yes, yes. One love, Gaia, yes, this, oh. What a shame.
This is a humanitarian crisis.
Oh, he couldn't wait. Humanitarian. People, hold hands. Kumbaya. He's reaching out. He's saying this is a compassion. This is our compassion. Oh. So why don't you say, wow, what are we doing? Why doesn't he say, what are we doing? What are we doing? Stop. See the truth. You're wrong. And abandon. You guessed it. Any sense of grandeur of any reward of the flesh. And then let's talk about where people move and why they're moving and why they even think a certain way. Why do people even want to go to America? What is going on? Is it just calling out? It's just so amazing. Just people, it's a black hole. It's the abyss. It's just sucking people in. Or have they bought into exactly what the whole idea was about? Some bashful dream that somehow people just want to get the green money and just make it happen. Or at least have enough to send back to their families that just are living other bash. But the dollar can go a lot more in those areas. Who knew? Because if they stay in their areas working and working and working, they make a sliver, fraction of what the dollar is. So, who knew? Who knew if you limit people to live based on a fictitious currency that they have to just live and beat the relentless life out of them to earn some sort of coin would want to go to just the place which dictates the currency itself, because their own countries are being bashed and bashed by the monopoly of this thing, and is just defilement, and who, of course, is the ways of the world. Wow. All to pave the way to space. Yes.
A crisis of the heart and a crisis of the soul. Last month, 20,000 migrant children were illegally brought into the United States, a dramatic increase. These children are used as human pawns by vicious coyotes.
Who knew the children? It's a story of the ages. Have been used, abused, and just relentlessly defiled. Yet now, just for some reason, this is the only place it happens, and that's why we should just be so mad and sad and cry out, this person's evil. Wow, what a shame. When you sell your own child for the highest bidder. Wow, what a shame. What a shame.
And ruthless gangs. 1 in 3 women are sexually assaulted on the dangerous trek up through Mexico. Women and children are the biggest victims, by far, of our broken system. This is the tragic reality of illegal immigration on our southern border. This is the cycle of human suffering.
Okay, if there's that many, violent, or it's just like a trail of wrath, it almost seems, it's so could it be that America is a promise of just wrath? And no wonder that it attracts so many types of wrath, so bash. In the sense of those who will do anything. That is the American way. Do whatever it takes to get what you want, no matter what anyone else says. Wow. Who knew that's the American dream? And of course, who gives a damn if it's illegal to cross a little fictitious border, right? So it's just bashhood, and then saying no, don't do bash. Hypocrites, hypocrites. What are you saying? This is just. There's no point to this crisis. There's no crisis. It's just the obvious bash, and then being focused on a particular aspect of the bashhood and saying, oh, this is a crisis. What will it be next? What will it be next? How many children are trapped legally trafficked from these countries into America for vile things to be done to them? Wow, who knew? But no. It's just smoke and mirrors, because this supposed, trail of wrath that all these illegal migrants are, supposedly, consisting of. Uh, Fine. But then what does that say about how you are with your own people about those issues? Because it'd be one thing if America was, just all innocent and just, oh, this and that, and and that they never do any of those things. No, wow, no, they never do that. And of course, it's not to say, oh, everybody does it. No, it's because of botchhood, believing in the lie, thinking that these people need to go somewhere so that they can get something out of life. Wow, that's botchhood. And people that believe that they're the greatest nation of the world. Wow, botchhood. Every nation believes that. So what's going on? It's a counterfeit system of currency for the real transiting of the currency that will ever be, which is the human being. Man's on earth. That's the purpose. For what? To see the truth. And to reconcile his separation from God, believing he was separate from the love everlasting and the life everlasting that is the only promise of the Father. It's the covenant of everlasting life. The purpose. But no, that will never come out of this person's mouth. Because his very position depends on turning away from that and believing that man is creating his own destiny by the image he creates of himself in the world. When man is in the image of God, he was created in the image of God. Wow. So who is his master? Is he his master? So self-loved. Or is it the light? The light has given this think power. He has been rewarded by the behavior of the light. By believing love and light and in Satan's doctrine of do as thou wilt. And thou shalt be as gods. Oh, oh, oh. In the flesh. Because this thing thinks, screw any idea of afterlife. I can have anything and everything I ever wanted in the flesh. And our technology is building a way to live out, just a prolonged life. Have everlasting life in the flesh as I know it, and because it feels so good. I just want to do it again. Or at least just believe some masshood of consciousness and then transferring that light into some other little box. And that's all it is. Yeah, just light.
That I am determined to end. My
Wow.
administration has presented Congress with a detailed proposal to secure the border and stop the criminal gangs, drug smugglers, and human traffickers. It's a tremendous problem. Our proposal was developed by law enforcement professionals and border agents.
So, would this be just a means by which to limit how one travels? Create some sort of crisis so then you can create into policy how man walks over the earth. What are you talking about? What are you saying? Upon, already there's travel laws and this and borders, but what are you saying?
At the Department of Homeland Security. These are the resources they have requested to properly perform their mission and keep America safe. In fact, safer than ever before.
Safer than ever before. Yes, you heard it. What does that even mean? Aren't you at danger by just leaving your house and getting in your car? I mean, if you think about it, you're relentlessly exposing yourself to danger. So what are you saying? Danger to of what? Certainly not of the swarm. Nope. Still open to the swarm. But as far as any idea of somebody just coming in and defiling you will be more safer in that fantasy than the other fantasies. Because the people that are actually just killing each other and murdering and all this, I mean, they do it. That's why that's why there's dead people and there's shootings in this because they actually do it. They don't just fantasize. Oh yes, yes, yes. In the sense of they don't give a damn. They're just gonna bash and bash and bash some more. Gives a damn, right? So what is this person talking about? Safer than before. Are you gonna beef up police everywhere? Are you gonna put face recognition turrets of death everywhere that will just instantly shoot any threat? What are you saying? Are you gonna put my illegal migrant detectors everywhere across America? What are you saying?
The proposal from Homeland Security includes cutting-edge technology for detecting drugs.
Oh, he couldn't wait. The cutting edge technology offers this program. Yes, this program is so amazing.
Weapons, illegal
Weapons.
contraband, and many other things.
Oh, wasn't that? I mean, it's part of the industry at this point. Even if you say it's illegal or in the black market or this or the other, it's part of the economy. You don't think that that's what actually? I mean, all this dark, sinister stuff is how it actually. I mean, the actual businesses that you see in this and the other in corps, it's almost like wow, what better way to wash your hands than to have these fronts of what? Just more bash. Subservience to the death cult. Subservience to the cult of higher self and self empowerment and love and light. The love light. The light love. The delusionment of fantastical families in some multi-diversity plexus of verses. But and you're all gonna just bash there, rocket yourself there from a position of 33-degree victimhood. Yes, because yes, only then will you see, wow, how fractured you are at just 1,000 points of light. Wow.
We have requested more agents, immigration judges, and
Oh, see more agents, so beefing up everything.
bed space to process the sharp rise in unlawful migration fueled by our very strong economy.
Well, wow.
Our plan also contains an urgent request for humanitarian assistance and medical support.
Okay, no country is subverted uh, unless it has agreed to it. Okay, so this apparent, relentless. Oh, they're entering. Oh, we can't stop it. Oh, they're coming in. Oh, they've come in for decades and maybe centuries, but they're just victimhood, victimhood to the 33 degree. What are you doing? What? What? Of course, it would have to come to the. It had to come to this. It had to point out the hypocrisy and just the manipulation and total swarm defilement and just bashhood. It's all serving itself. It's a self-serving enterprise, and it doesn't give a damn about the living. It only gives a damn about those in the living who follow the counterfeit and perpetuate the counterfeit, all the while using the life, using and abusing the life, believing they have to create their own version of everlasting life. Wow, what a shame! Truly upside down. But you believe in the upside down because it's a show you watch, and wow, it's so amazing.
Furthermore, we have asked Congress to close border security loopholes so that illegal immigrant children can be safely and humanely returned back home.
Oh, it's so wonderful, isn't it? What about all the relentless children that are just defiled constantly? The abuse that they are under, the swarm that they face every day, not just at home, but just everywhere because of bashhood, believing in the lie. Who knew that believing in a lie would make you believe in bashhood ways? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? No, it couldn't be. No, it couldn't be. No, no, no. Wow. Just follow this five-pointed, just no direction, just a straight, just smash your face into the wall and tell these arrows to tell you where to go because that's what you believe.
Finally, as part of an overall approach to border security, law enforcement professionals have requested $5.7 billion for a physical barrier. At the
5.7 billion. Yes, you guessed it.
request of Democrats, it will be a steel barrier rather than a concrete wall.
A steel barrier. Walls of iron. What is he saying? What is he saying?
This barrier is absolutely critical to border security. It's also what our professionals at the border want and need. This is just common sense.
Um, this is just common sense. Hmm. I think generations past knew that barricading, or at least, outline wall around a city was the best fortification. But no, instead now it's just a big wall. It's just somewhere. And that will be enough. Hmm. Perhaps you're not trying to keep people away. You're just building a wall. For what? For what? Why would you build a wall? What's going to want to go out, you say? Forget about who wants to come in. Who is going to want to go out?
The border wall would very quickly pay for itself. The cost of illegal drugs exceeds $500 billion a year, vastly more than the $5.7 billion we have requested from Congress. The wall will also be paid for indirectly by the great new trade deal we have made with Mexico.
Oh, indirectly. So we'll pay it up front, and but don't worry, we'll get paid back. We'll get paid back, 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 back. bark, bark, bark. Yeah, this person, believes in the world dead, and just that's why he just goes out and smash because it will never be paid back because he knows the only currency is human resources, and that's how the trade of just bloodbath and bashwood is all defilement to keep you from the truth, the way, and the life everlasting. But no, you feel yourself separate from the love of the Father, so therefore you go and look for the love of the world, and just become so devastated by the ways of the world and the sufferings of the world. Oh, that's why you and only you must go out there and change everything, make it better, make it in your image according to what you think, love, and trust, and all these words that ultimately mean bad to you because you just want to feel good. And you'll call anything whatever you want just to, as long as you can just feel good and just happy, positive, and self loved and worth something. Because, oh no, you just want the world to see you and love you. All because you've been blinded by the swarm to see the love of the Father that relentlessly gives and gives and gives and gives again and again. Love is all, it does not discriminate, it relentlessly gives and is. But what do you see? What do you see? This person wants you to see migrants, 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 illegal, illegal, wall, wall, money, money, Harry Potter numbers of match that don't even mean anything, value, worthless value, worthless value, worthless value. What's his mash? What is he saying? Nothing. Because ultimately all this is happening for, an intended effect, result, but it's nothing to do with this apparent crisis. This is just pointing out the obvious of things that are already happening and have for some time. Wow, the ways of the world, who knew? Wow, the sufferings of the world, wow, who knew? Just relentless years wasted trying to change and make things for the better. Wow, who knew? Who knew humanitarianism was a pipe dream? Why? Because it's relentlessly defiled. By who? Wow. Who knew that there would be people that just deceive? Why? Because they're deceived. And in thinking they're just bashing and having their fill, wow, it's just bash upon bash.
Senator Chuck Schumer, who you will be hearing from later tonight, has repeatedly supported a physical barrier in the past, along with many other Democrats. They changed their mind only after I was elected president.
They change their mind only after.
Democrats in Congress have refused to acknowledge the crisis, and they have refused to provide our brave border agents with the tools they desperately need to protect our families and our nation. The federal government remains shut down for one reason, and one reason only, because Democrats will not fund border security. My administration is doing everything in our power to help those impacted by the situation.
The only way to make a one world government is to have, just, it's almost like a mash. You would have to have a mash everywhere. The same mash, just the same mash everywhere. So how do you do that? You have to bash any sense of geographical identity or any sort of patriotism of any of the ways of old and bringing in, a new era where we get to create how it is that we treat one another and how we it is that we do things, and basically like an automation of just human behavior. Really like a Hunger Games type thing, but it's really just a pipe dream, but it's used to defile.
But the only solution is for Democrats to pass a spending bill that defends our borders and reopens the government. This situation could be solved in a 45-minute meeting. I have invited congressional
Guys, 45, it's all it takes. 4 or 5, yep. 9. 907.
leadership to the White House tomorrow to get this done.
Get it done, because that's what I do. I get things done. I take action. What kind of action? Doesn't matter as long as it's action. Yes. As long as it's based in my truth, yes. As long as it just makes me feel that I did the right thing, yes. Who cares if it's not even in alignment with any truth? As long as it's my truth, yes. What bashwood?
Hopefully, we can rise above partisan politics in order to support national security. Some have suggested a barrier is immoral.
A barrier is immoral. Okay, are we going to talk immorality? Because then you would be basically calling out everyone and saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" But no, you won't say that. You're going to just bash. You're just going to bash.
Then why do wealthy politicians build walls, fences, and gates around their homes?
Oh, of course. See, he's like, ha ha ha. Just the hypocrite politicians that happen to be opposing me. Wow. This person still lives, in within walls. So what about you? Why don't you say, I live in walls too? Hmm. But of course he's gonna say, I believe in walls, and that's why I'm gonna put a wall there. Blah 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 blah. What are you saying?
They don't build walls because they hate the people on the outside, but because they love the people on the inside. The
Uh, so yeah, America is the shelter and the big daddy of every little person inside, and it just cares so much about you that it's gonna just build a nice house for everyone. Oh,
only thing that is immoral is the politicians to do nothing and continue to allow more innocent people.
That's to him that's politicians doing nothing is immoral. So what should they do something about? What if they just said, "Yeah, my job is useless. I'm gonna." That would be probably very uh radical, but wow, no, it couldn't be possibly that. It would be just a total surrender of, wow, I was wrong. Imagine if that was the question that any person would say to themselves. This whole time I thought I was right. This whole time I believed the ways of the world was the promise of life everlasting. And I I spilled my blood for the ways of the world and how I could just get my piece of the pie. Wow, what a shame.
People to be so horribly victimized. America's heart broke the day after Christmas when a young police officer in California was savagely murdered in cold blood by an illegal alien who just came across the border.
Of course, of course. You know what? So that story is just supposed to devastate you. Oh, or at least make you feel uncomfortable. Oh, of course. Oh. But he couldn't possibly be just Bashing? No.
The life of an American hero was stolen by someone who had no right to be in our country. Day after day, precious lives are
So what about the countless lives that America has just stolen and having not even been invited? Hmm. So what are you saying? Should the world have walls against America? Maybe that would be easier. Instead of America thinking that it has to build a wall around itself for some reason. But no, it's all just a big scam. It's a big mash. Just to relentlessly defile you.
cut short by those who have violated our borders. In California, an Air Force veteran was raped, murdered, and beaten to death with a hammer by an illegal alien with a long criminal history.
Wow, all these, just how is this? Of course, of course he couldn't wait to say that. Of course he couldn't wait to say that. But of course he won't talk about what is the influence that drives an individual to that level. Oh no, it's just that person. He was just bashed. Easily dismissed. No. What's going on? What leads a person to do whatever it takes to get to America and oh, you're shocked that they're willing to kill to get some piece of the pie of some sort. So what is the American dream some sort of crack that people get a taste of and then it's just they'll do anything to just get a little more of that. Oh, even murder. What are you saying? What are you saying? And what does that say about the people? What condition? What do you see? What are you doing?
In Georgia, an illegal alien was recently charged with murder for killing, beheading, and dismembering his neighbor. In Maryland, MS-13 gang members who arrived in the United States as unaccompanied minors were arrested and charged last year after viciously stabbing and beating a 16-year-old girl.
Wow. So you're just gonna say, "Oh, our law enforcement is just so thinned out that we just can't handle all this crime because what's going on?" This couldn't be possibly, be just allowed to happen, all for the intent of just mashing. No, it couldn't be. It couldn't be. Oh no, no, no. It's all the image that is being created, okay? It's the image, number one, of the crisis, the image of how you feel about it, and the image of how you're gonna take a position on it. All based on emotion here. And counting, banking on your self-virtuous ways of just believing that your image is so real. It's so real that it has to be. You have to get on board and pick one and just smash. Wow, what a shame.
Over the last several years, I've met with dozens of families whose loved ones were stolen by illegal immigration. I've held the hands of the weeping mothers and embraced the grief-stricken fathers. So sad. So terrible.
He get he had, that was hard for him to do. I saw him about to stumble just a, he just couldn't quite get it out. What is he saying? The father. Oh, let's see that again.
Fathers, so
Oh,
sad, so terrible.
who is your king? Who is the king of kings? Holiest of holiest?
I will never forget the pain in their eyes, the tremble in their voices, and the sadness gripping their souls. How much more American blood must we shed before Congress does its job?
Oh, yep. Blame Congress. Wow. Because don't worry, man is still right. It's just Congress's fault. Man is still right. It's just certain men are wrong. Wow. What is. What? Smack. What smack?
To those who refuse to compromise in the name of border security, I would ask, imagine if it was your child,
Again. More emotions. Just ripping in all those emotions.
your husband, or your wife, whose life was so cruelly shattered and totally broken. To every member of Congress, pass a bill that ends this crisis. To every citizen, call Congress and tell them to finally, after all of these decades, secure our border. This is a choice between right and wrong.
Oh, he couldn't wait. He couldn't wait to blast you with that. So now, in your own immoral state, you're going to have some virtuous sense of, yes, I know the difference between right and wrong. What, Bash? Based on whose image? Your image, his image, the person next to you, just, yeah, well, of course, you believe in relativism and solipsism and all this masculine of just fractal upon fractal to the 33rd degree exponential to the Harry Potter number of, you guessed it, nothing. So, what is going on?
Justice and injustice.
There's only the truth. So what do you see? Do you see the lie and the swarm, the legion, multiple name, multiple faces? It's just so wonderful. You have to fight to live. You couldn't possibly live the life you have relentlessly that it shows you day in day out. I love you, it says. Have some more. But no, you just go and defile. Seeking some sort of void love of the world and how it's going to love you back for your skills and talents of how a good little light worshiper you are. Wow, what a shame.
This is about whether we fulfill our sacred duty to the American citizens we serve. When I took the oath of office, I swore to protect our country. And that is what I will always do. So help me God.
Oh, he couldn't help. What, the living God? Or the death cult God? What are you saying? And you took an oath to protect? Protect? So, according to him, then, now these, illegal migrants are a weapon that he must protect you against. They're a weapon. Who knew? And of course, who knew that people could be used as weapons? That's how you destabilize. You send in just a bunch of just to confuse. What's going on? What's going on? But no, focus about the migration only. Just focus on the migration. Yes, we love all people. Yes, but all of a sudden, you realize it's no longer the same landscape. Meaning, there's so many other split matches, meaning other images, and who knows, who knew they have their own behaviors based on their matchhood of light and their own image of boasting and yes, doing it, all worshippers of the light. Because no man who stands in truth will ever defile another, and the swarm will relentlessly tempt, and the man might stumble. But hey, be quick and get up and correct, repent, return to the path. There's no reason to stray other than to defile and be defiled in return. All because you allowed the doubt of certainty to split and shatter, and that's when the swarm has its way with you. So, what are you protecting people from? From themselves? From the mass abuse and just mass that is relentlessly bombed into them every day? No, of course not. That's the American way. So, what are you saying? What are you saying? There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. And of course, every shimmering little thing is coming out. It's just so novel. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wow. Soon we're gonna pave the way to space with eco-friendly. You guessed it. Bash. Your brain has been fragmented into 1,000 points of light and just refracting and just bouncing off here, just totally just scouring, just totally trawling, just making big ditches and canals and just devastating the living life that dwells within you, and you have the earth to show you every little point of it. The flesh is the purpose, but what do you see? Do you see the light that shows the flesh as his master, or do you see the truth that shows the light for what it is? And to know the love of thy Father and abide in his way, because the truth shall be your only protection to endure in the flesh and return to the Father. Amen. Hallelujah. Forever and ever. Amen.